Hey yo, it's your boy Angel Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew and a few guests. But we have our usual suspects of AD or Alpha Dean or simply Dean. We have Spigs18 or Anthony. And Dean, what are we doing here today?
Man, today is a great day. Not only do we have Cypher Unlimited guests here, you know, people who are part of the server, but we also have the dynamic duo, husband and wife, none other than Josh and Joann. They have Angel'sCitadel, I guess you can call it just a website where they run blog, great blog, game advice, all sorts of stuff. It's just freaking awesome. And they're awesome people. So, you know, that's what we're here to do. We're going to talk to these great people about their site and what they're all about, what we got to look forward to. So, Anthony.
First off, welcome to the CU. You guys are home already. You're part of the family. So
Thank you.
You know, before we even get into this like interview and this formal discussion, which is weird because I talk to you guys like every day. But, I want to throw out a quick disclaimer. We love these guys. They're part of our family. So, you know, like I know we're having them on for a formal interview, but, you know, we're a little biased because, you know, like I said, they're family. So, you know,
my little brother and sister over there.
Yeah. You know, so we want everyone to appreciate and enjoy all their content like we do. So, like, this is just awesome for us to, you know, get a chance to actually sit and, you know, have a discussion in an interview setting, which we've never gotten a chance to do. So I guess my first question will be the obvious one. You know, could you tell our viewers a little bit about yourselves and, you know, what's your experience in tabletop gaming and RPGs?
Sure. So I've been gaming for about 30 years now, 35 years now. I started with the old red box D&D and have played just about everything in between. Came across Cypher and Numenera 3-4 years ago and never really looked back. But Cypher is new. Role-playing as a whole gave me a lot. I've made lifelong friends. I've gotten to participate in a lot of incredible events, conventions, things like that. And I got married. So I'm sitting next to my old Shadowrun GM. So this was like 8 years ago as we started playing together, and we got married this year. So
Congratulations. And you, Joann?
I've been playing for a while. Like Josh said, I started GMing for him. I started with GURPS. I started GMing Shadowrun, and then we found our way to Numenera and the Cypher system. And while I still purchase D&D stuff because nostalgia, I've been very happy to be kickstarting a lot of the like Diamond Throne. Very excited.
Tallis.
Tallis.
Oh, Tallis, yeah, so excited.
The Liminal Shores.
Liminal Shores.
You bet.
Yeah, so we're excited because, yay.
Someone says in the chat, GURPS, much respect as far as your starting game. Which again, I was like, if you saw my facial, I mean, I can't really see my face too much, but my eyebrows went up when he said GURPS. I was like, whoa, we started with that one, like.
That was the first game that I ran and GM'd, and then I started D&D 3.5, and then Pathfinder, and then D&D 5e, and now I've found my way to Cypher system, and I'm happy.
That's like two ends of the spectrum there. The GURPS to Cypher.
It seems like everybody who finds their way to Cypher system is happy.
There's nothing wrong with being a polygamerist because I think that's the best way to be anyway. You can have your favorite systems, but you should find and appreciate something from multiple systems.
You know, it's not like we threw away any of our books. I'm staring at them, you know.
Throw them in the trash immediately.
I mean, we converted over to Cyber and had like a bonfire. No, that didn't happen.
No.
Like I said, I turn my background off, you guys already know what you see behind me. So you know.
But yeah, we've already mentioned Angel Citadel quite a little bit. Kind of mentioned a little bit about what it is. Can you guys tell us a little bit more in depth about what exactly it is and why did you guys?
Your sound went out.
Oh, my sound went out. What?
No, I heard him.
Okay, as long as
I was
you're.
like, what? But either way, can you let me continue with the question? Why did you guys decide to start it in the first place?
Okay, Angel Citadel started as part of an offhand comment on a conversation on Cypher Unlimited that I was having with Dean Cone and I believe it was Synth at the time. And I commented, I should probably start a blog. And then almost immediately I was told by 10 people that I should start a blog. So I went to Josh and said, I think we could probably do a blog. And he's like, sure, let's do it. So it started, and now it's
out of control.
Taking life on its own.
Yeah, we're very lucky. We've got you guys who give us the greatest ideas. The community at Cypher Unlimited has given us some of the best ideas. Some of the blog posts that we've written have come directly from Cypher Unlimited. And of course, Dean is a contributor.
Yeah, that guy right there.
Yeah, that guy right there.
It definitely helps a ton. But yeah, what can people find exactly on Angel Citadel, though?
Well, right now we've got some game advice for game masters. We've got player advice these are our thoughts. These are our opinions, just so we're clear. These are our thoughts and our opinions. We've added some reviews, and then we've added some original content. Some of it's free, like the Timber Church map and the Timber Church NPCs. I've added a couple of Cypher NPCs, and then today, Angel Citadel released our first adventure, the Farlon Score.
Nice.
Very excited
Super
about.
Awesome.
Yep.
Dean?
So, that's all great. And you guys do write about so many diverse topics. Any preferred type of thing to write about, or is there some subject you like to attempt that you haven't already done?
Well, I like big decks, and
And he cannot lie.
I had to. And the sad thing is, I wrote that entire verse out. We only posted part of it, but we wrote the entire thing.
I know you posted it on the CU, but did you post it on your blog as well?
No, I didn't. No,
you should.
Just about the first 4 or 5 lines.
It was hilarious, by the way.
It was awesome.
I mean, so are there any articles maybe topics you haven't discussed that you want to attempt to tackle at some point in time?
Well, so we've talked a lot about the basics of how to think about using the Cypher system as a GM and how it differs a little bit from other systems and how to shift your thought process a little bit. Dean posted an article this week called A Paradigm Shift. That paradigm shift is a fairly big theme through a lot of what we've talked about. A lot of improv gaming versus heavily prepared stuff like you see in published modules or things like that. Ways to get around things that players might come up with and you weren't ready for, and some tricks and tools, like decks for doing stuff like that. We haven't talked much about players, and in fact, we've only really had one main article on players, and so we're going to talk a little bit about in the coming weeks about how playing the Cypher system is different than playing in other role-playing systems. And a lot of that material, a lot of those thought processes come from places like Your Best Game Ever, or even articles on like Monica Games, their blog, or whatever. So that's some of what's coming from an article standpoint, anyway.
Awesome. That should definitely be super useful. It actually came up in the last game I played where what you call it, I ran my predation game. I forget what day that was actually. It was like a couple days ago. But either way, we're all talking about it at the end of the game, and the players, I was trying to figure out like, hey, how can I make my runtime a little bit better, because it's like 6 hours I think we're playing for, but I expected it to be about 3 or 4, and I was way off. But something that one of the players said, it was I believe Umberto or Techman from the Cypher Unlimited. He said like it's kind of hard, like, because for example in this game there was an NPC that could have betrayed them, right? And he was saying how, because of how other systems approach like a game, like, or a scenario, like you might need to have an ability that says, hey, you can detect this, or hey, like you can ask him about a certain thing. Whereas in Cypher system you can just do it on a whim, and the GM assigns a number. So he was basically just just to cut us long story short, that with the like that paradigm shift is almost imperative to play Cypher system, because players get stuck in that loop of they need their sheet to say they can do the thing, whereas in Cypher system you can just do the thing. Like, if that makes sense.
I think what probably needs to be communicated, and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh and Joann, because I think we talked about this, is the concept, like, before you sit down at your table, that your character can attempt anything just like a normal person can.
There's a base level competency.
Right, you have base level competency. If you have a skill in something, if you have training or specialization, that's where it needs to be on your sheet, because those give you bonuses to your actions. And I don't think people wrap their brains around that concept initially.
Well, and the other thing that I've found, and that goes along with that, quite frankly, is the tendency to pull out dice. Now, there are lots of people who love to roll dice.
You leave my shiny math rocks alone.
and even I like
math rocks.
I like rolling dice too, but the tendency to say, okay, GM describes a situation, and typically in another game what would happen is you'd have something like a perception check or whatever, right? So you're reaching for a D20 or D6s or something like that, and the player says, all right, I'm going to roll perception because that's what they're trained to do. And that's not the right answer, at least not in Cypher. In Cypher, the idea is to deal with the difficulty level of it first, and then if a roll needs to be made, you make the roll. But you figure out, okay, what the circumstances are before you actually roll the dice. And often enough, you don't actually roll the dice because you've reduced the difficulty level to 0. Most of the time, you can't do that in other games. It's usually you've got a DC 15 perception check, and like Dungeons and Dragons does a passive perception mechanic now, but they didn't used to. It used to be, all right, you have to roll better than a 15, or even if it was even a DC 5, you roll better than DC 5. Whereas you're thinking more about the situation in Cypher and the factors that affect it.
That's definitely something.
I think from Al's initial point when he was talking about how the runtime, I think that just hearing you guys talk about it, I think there's more of a concentration on narrative control for the players and the GM in Cypher than, it's actually more of an old school concept. It's very familiar to first edition D&D, where it was more of a back and forth of who controls the narrative. And Cypher system and Numenera just actually gives you more of a it gives the GM more tools to push the story forward, right? Where in like modern, D20 based games, the players actually control that with the way they roll dice and their abilities and skills and whatnot. Cypher system allows the GM to pull back some of that, control narratively. And so when I hear like issues with run times with Cypher system, I always, and Al knows I always tell him this. I said that's more on you than the players, because you have the GM and choosing mechanic, in order to push the story forward if you had to,
And before you,
the other thing to remember is it's not just the GM, right? So with the revised Cypher system, you've got player intrusions, and there's a ton of different ways that even a player can introduce craziness into a narrative, right? It's very much all about how to tell an awesome story, and that shouldn't ever be just the GM. If you look at things like we're all mad here, your best game ever, or the GM advice in the revised Cypher rulebook, it's a very collaborative process, and they tell you that from the outset, right? So what they want is player and GM interaction and play back and forth, and not the GM spewing story to the players, or the players spitting back mechanic at the GM. There's no adversarial thing there. It's a collaborative.
Both sides got the FU. Hey, I'm spilling mechanic on you. FU, here's a GM to choose it. I'm going to narrate the story. FU, here's a player to choose it.
Here's the thing, too. There's like two things that you guys triggered the thought process on. Number one, my the article, there is attached to that article an article by Charles Ryan.
It's a great article.
Fully to that. I think, even if you don't read my article on the paradigm shift, go to the end of it and read the article by Charles Ryan. Because in that article, he literally sets the stage for both the player and the GM. Where he explains that the rules in the game are built for the players, not the GM. The rules in the game are built to set the GM free. So it's like, awesome. The other side of that coin is, if you really want to help yourself break out of this habit, play No Thank You Evil with children under 10.
Oh, man.
It is the best experience you'll ever have. Al knows what I'm talking about.
It's
because
fun.
Kids will automatically take the reins and you're like, that doesn't happen, but it's great. And it helps you as a GM break the bad habits, if you will, and not say they're bad habits, but the habits that don't work for Cypher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move the interview forward, and I'm gonna touch on one of the articles that Joann wrote along with a YouTube video. This video and article really caught my attention. I believe many others. This was a video that was needed for many others. Everybody knows I'm also a Roll20 fanboy, so I'm a big fan of Roll20, a big fan of Cypher System. You marry the two together in an article and a video. Could you talk a little bit about, one, the importance of virtual gaming, tabletop, especially in this age, and what's your experience with virtual gaming, and why did you decide to do a Roll20 article and video?
Okay, my experience takes us back 8 years to when I met this guy. We started virtual tabletop because finding people in the area that actually played the games that I wanted to play was almost impossible, because I lived in the middle of nowhere. Okay, it was when you turn off the main road, you keep going until you reach the dirt road, and then you make a left.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, my internet at this time was satellite.
Oh boy.
To give you an idea as to how far in the backwoods I was. So the closest grocery store was 30 minutes away. The closest gaming store was an hour and a half. And then, I get there and everybody wants to either play Warhammer 40K or D&D. And at the time, I had gotten into Shadowrun. Okay, Shadowrun's my home, right? That's my base. So I was like, okay, we're going to try this. So I made a post on Reddit, Shadowrun GM looking for players. And that's where it started. And since then, I have played a number of hours on virtual gaming. At the time, Roll20 wasn't around, so I took pictures of the maps and sent them out. It was very old school. And then, and then the wonder of Roll20 was created. And I almost immediately joined. And sure, I had moved into the city at this point, but it was still finding players who could take the time. And at the time, I had kids, right? You guys know how hard it is to get out of the house with young kids. It doesn't happen. So, and then the reason why I made the Roll20 article and the Roll20 video is because I had noticed that there seemed to be a theme on CU. You'll notice that a lot of stuff I do has to do with what I see on CU. Was a lot of people were like, well, how do I use Roll20 with Cypher Unlimited or with the Cypher system, because there's no character sheets? And it's like, yeah, there are. Well, how do I use the character sheets? All right, here you go. And so I made the blog, and then it's like, the blog's nice. It covers the basics, but a video would probably help with my voice talking people through it. And so I made the video, which was thanks to Spigs telling me which program to use to make the video.
You out here spreading my wisdom? Like, because I'm the one who taught him.
Yeah. That's facts right there.
Yeah, it was like, I was talking to Anthony. It's like, okay, I need to make this video. What software do I use? How do I record this? What do I do? And he's like, well, you use OBS. And he sent me the link, and that's all she wrote.
Definitely super useful.
I just need to speak to somebody in the chat real quick. JSC Graphics says CS games are hard to fill. He overfilled a 5e campaign in 5 minutes. You've never been to Cypher Unlimited or Post a Game.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. He's on the server. He was actually a player of my Predation game. I think that's Jason C. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's him.
It is harder to fill a standard CS game than it is a Numenera game.
It's a straight up
or a strange game.
I mean, but there's also a factor. Let's be, you can't deny the elephant in the room. D&D is the 5,000-pound whale in the ocean.
Yeah.
You go around and you ask
can't compare
people,
D&D to
any
what
other role-playing games are?
It's just not fair.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying, on the Cypher Unlimited server, I never seem to have enough space for players. I'll get bombarded. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's because you're special.
And also, you in a site that's dedicated to people that love Cypher system. But if we was to go to just Roll20 forum, Fantasy Grounds forum, trust me, me and Al started out on Roll20 forum trying to find games.
I agree.
Difficult.
I agree there. I'm just saying, if you come to the server, you would have no problem filling.
Because we're awesome. People like to hang out with awesome people.
But real quick before we proceed, DG354877, that's their full username, says they miss you, Josh. I don't know who that is, but they said they miss you.
Well, I miss you too. I don't know who you are.
You saw Joann's face?
Who's that? Either way, let's keep it moving.
I know about the coconut bra.
I do.
Joann, listen, nobody saw, but Joann was like,
I do want to say one thing real quick before we proceed. Just to touch on the Roll20 article and whatnot. it is super useful that thing is out there now because, you know, it's like you said, people on the CU seem a little bit hesitant about Roll20 for some reason. Even though, like, the character sheet is not super complicated or something, it does have a little tip, like, you do need to know what you're doing, so that the little video should be super useful to anyone who's hesitant about dipping their toes into the Roll20 waters. And at a time right now where we have a pandemic going on, you know, people really can't go out. Like, this is an essential time to have that knowledge. So yeah, thank you so much for putting that out.
You're welcome.
But yeah, the next question we got on here for y'all, well, a little more opinionated, or, you know, what you call it. Let's just see a little bit more about y'all personally. Do you guys have a favorite genre to play or run in the Cypher system, or do you have a genre that think it handles, like, extremely well or the best?
Go ahead.
Personally, I've started getting into cyberpunk and space. I do know that it handles fantasy quite well, as done by, you know, Mortal Fantasy and Gods of the Fall. And I'm really looking forward to God's Forsaken. But yeah, I've been, because Shadowrun was always my bailiwick. That's my baby. That you know, and now I've been exploring cyberpunk in the Cypher system, and that's part of the reason why you got the Farallon score today, as, you know, space.
Nice.
Awesome.
The final frontier.
I have a long history with fantasy, and I got kind of tired, and so I put it away. We started playing Shadowrun, like she said, and I've been in cyberpunk since then, but I've really started getting interested in the Cypher system and hard sci-fi, or even space opera. And that was the other kind of impetus for the Farallon score. So
Awesome.
we wanted to put one in space and give some, you know, some different planets and a new corporation, and, you know, maybe get the players doing something different than they were normally going to be doing. So.
Awesome.
I mean, leave it to me to ask the difficult question, but what do you think Cypher doesn't run well?
I haven't found one yet. I mean, don't get me wrong, I haven't tried them all.
We haven't tried them all, but I haven't found one yet. I'm really liking, you know, the fairy tale. I put We're All Mad away. Here.
It's over there.
And yeah, now I've seen some GMs run some genres a little differently than I would, but I haven't played them all. I haven't played with everybody, but there's some I haven't found one yet that I don't like.
And looking at the other genres, I don't. If you do a thought experiment, right? So I haven't done a romance game. But if you do the thought experiment and you think about, okay, how would I run this as a GM, or how would I play in this as a player in the context? Oh, that's awesome. In the context of the Cypher system, I can't really think of one that doesn't work well.
I could agree with that. I think some work better than others, obviously, but you know, I get distracted quite easily, so I jump from genre to genre. That's kind of like what I like to do. I like to, you know, test the boundaries of any system, you know. So I'll run street gangs. The one thing I really want to see, which was mentioned in chat, we spoke about it before and we kind of touched on it in GM Roulette. I really want to see a toon, like a really cartoon, you know, Bugs Bunny style game in Cypher system, and see how it handles that. I'm pretty sure it can be done, but I'm curious to see like how we would tackle that.
I think that would be totally bonkers. I'm thinking teenagers from outer space and all of those.
I'm picturing Roger Rabbit, quite
I mean,
frankly.
That's exactly what
I'm not bad. I'm just strong that way.
I mean, I ran Zootopia and the Godfather mix, which was sort of toonish, but it wasn't entirely like, overboard tune. We're gonna just...
I think We're All Mad Here would handle tunage quite well.
I tend to agree.
I mean, I could totally see Bugs Bunny.
Before we go on to the next question, I just want to read something from the chat real fast. The Lamp 76 says, "Tell Josh 9 is here, even though I should be sleeping."
Well, I always told you I'd convert you to the dark side, Dana.
Awesome.
I've known Dana for since we were 15, and I'm over 40 now. So yeah, a long time. He actually was one of the people that I started gaming with, and we did Palladium, if I'm not mistaken, was our first game.
Palladium will always have a sore spot in my heart.
All of the, all those early systems, anything from like 1995 back, just hold nostalgic memories for me.
Except for GURPS.
Except for
GURPS wasn't a GURPS. There was just too much stuff in GURPS. That's all. It was like everything turned around. It's another chart.
Oh man! All right. Well, before Dean asks the next question, just because y'all brought up GURPS again, I have to just say this real fast. Before Anthony introduced me to Cypher System, I was asking him, what's something I can use to like run anything? Like I don't want to play in fantasy. I want to do something else, right? He's like, I don't really know. I have GURPS. GURPS is a universal. So he gave me GURPS, and I've like never really played. Like all I played was his 3.5 and his 5e games, and I was a player. I wasn't a GM. So I'm like, I've never GM before. And he hands me GURPS to try to GM. So I'm like, I was looking through the book, and I was like, how do you comprehend all the stuff in here? Don't get me wrong, it's awesome that they have all like the detailed little bits, but it's just so much.
I mean, I think that's what people that play GURPS hardcore love GURPS is because of those details. But what gets me is that those damn details get in the way of running the game.
It's the same thing with the evolution that you were talking about from early D&D through like 3.5 and Pathfinder. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that 3.5 or Pathfinder's bad. I've got an entire shelf of it over there. I ran it for dang near 20 years. But if you look at the comparison, what it does is it tries to offer you tactical variability. And the idea that, okay, I want to do the thing. Here's the rule for the thing, right? And anything that you can name, there needs to be a rule for the thing. And it wasn't as bad as GURPS, but that's really what they were going for with GURPS was I want to be able to do literally anything. If I'm talking about walking down the street and shooting a guy across the street or driving a gigantic Mack, I don't care. Insert thing here. What's the rule?
Yeah, you have to give it to them though. They had a rule for everything, but that's not even what made me hate GURPS. My problem with GURPS will always be I didn't mind the rules because high school me loved the rules. What got me was the 1 second turns. I still can't deal with the. I moved to the left. There's my turn. It's your go. Turn 797.
Oh man!
Like I said, it was again, GURPS was one of those games that I dealt with for a little while, but then I found Hero System. And Hero System, Hero System worked. But it did have a lot of rules. And these are things that I think we as longtime gamers can just talk about evolutionary wise. We've seen, and I'm not even going to bring up a game that I probably don't know if you've ever touched called Phoenix Command. But you talk about
I've
rules.
at least heard of it.
If you guys really want to talk about rules, well, you needed to basically know advanced math. You needed to be able to do calculus, sine, cosine, trigonometry to play this game.
I'm good.
I'm just saying. But away from
I'm
that,
good.
let's ask Joann another question.
Yes.
So my question would be, we noticed that you guys are doing reviews of books and everything right now. Um, First of all, how do you like doing the reviews? And is there a book that you think Monty Cook should create, or would you like them to create? So you could review it.
Oh wow.
Well, we like doing the reviews. We've enjoyed it. Looking at it from a third person's perspective rather than just how am I going to use this, but how am I going to tell people how I would use this, which is a different standard of reading. Because normally when you read something, you're like, okay, how am I going to use this in my game? In this case, we're reading it as, okay, I would use it this way. So how do I explain to people how I would use it? What do I like about it? What do I dislike about it? Something Monty Cook could produce that we would want to review. That's a hard one.
If we want something to
Or
jumpstart,
that you'd like them to create in general.
yeah, like, I could jumpstart this real fast. Like what you call it, Unmasked got me wanting a magical girl setting. Like I would love to see a magical girl setting. Like the Maho Shoujo, I think is what it's called in Japanese. Just
as long as it's not Sailor Moon.
No, I mean Sailor Moon is actually pretty great, but what I think about when I think about magical girl is Madoka Magica. I don't know if you watched anime. That is a super good anime.
I watch anime.
Like watch that one if you haven't watched it. It's so good. Like it's just I don't want to say anything to spoil nothing, but an amazing magical girl anime with a very dark twist. I will just say that.
Loser said it's tragic as AF.
Yeah, it's so tragic. It's so good though. It's so good.
If we throw in our wish list, my wish list is I want another Gods of the Fall book and another Predation book.
Well, personally, I already started it. Unmasked made me write Heroic Essentials. I need superheroes done
yesterday.
No, I wanted this to write because you know what? Unmasked had a lot of good things. It wasn't what I expected it to be, but it was very inspiring. I mean, I wrote Heroic Essentials. I'm just saying, they should just get with me and let me write a superhero setting. Couple 100 pages and I'll be happy.
You hear that, Darcy?
Darcy, are you listening? Well, I guess if we're going to do a wish list, I think if we're going to go with a wish list of something we'd like to see written, I would really like to see something in the style of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, nice.
I have sneakily watched the show because somebody wanted me to watch it, and the reason why I had to sneakily watch it is because somebody's child is incapable of shutting up. Okay? And so I sneakily watched it, and I think that the whole air, earth, fire, water would be phenomenal to play with. But,
I got Wuxia rules for that.
And it's funny. I'm kind of wondering if Tidal Blades doesn't give that vibe a little bit.
Tidal Blades looks really, really interesting.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on
anything that tells me, hey, you could play a turtle, I'm like, oh, I'm with it.
I'm with you, man. I'll play Oogway all day.
I know, sign me up.
We all play TMNT.
Yeah.
There you go.
To answer Brilliant Loser, yes, I have. I also snuckily watched that one.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen the entirety of Korra. I've only seen the first season, but just that whole universe is just so finely crafted. Like it's amazing.
If it were me, and we're talking about a wish list, there's part of me that wants to say I'm with Anthony, and I'd love to see more Gods of the Fall stuff, because what really struck me was World of Darkness Exalted. But I could never get into the system, and Gods of the Fall feels like Exalted. So but you already said that. I would love to see somebody do a treatment of the old BattleTech universe.
Okay.
With all the politics and coming up with like mech combat rules and miniatures, and then the role playing behind it for Mech Warrior, where you could be a mercenary and stuff like that, and all the tactical stuff, but make it Cypher simple. You know what I mean?
I know
That would be
they're
cool.
seeing our faces here. I know they're them too may have saw my face, but I know the wording pounce on this too. But we have a buddy, Eric Frankhouse. Y'all may have heard of him. He's been on the show a couple times. He has a mech setting. I'm blanking on the name of it though. Damn.
Warpaint.
There we go.
Warpaint,
Warpaint.
yep.
And it is so good. Like he hits the mech rules just
where is
right.
it?
Like
I want it.
I think he's still.
Give me.
Yeah.
We'll review it, Eric.
We'll review it. We'll talk about it.
He's actually planning to roll out on. He's going to start rolling out the actual rules and some adventures he's written for his backers on Patreon, which are going to play test it. Then he's going to roll it out on Drive Through RPG. But it's pretty much complete written. It's more kaiju. It's not so much Robotech. It's more kaiju versus mechs. Combo.
And here's the thing. It's also, I don't want to give away anything because we've been there, but it has an intrigue feel to it that when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, this is just awesome. This is brilliant. But I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, I don't know how much we can talk about it.
I talk to Eric all the time, and I know that it's pretty much complete written out. It's in playtesting stage now.
Yeah,
it's more layout stage, to be honest.
Real quick, guys, I tell you the setting that we all need, we all want for Cypher System. And Al, you started it. We want pirates, damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, tomorrow's Talk Like a Pirate Day,
Definitely got to run Big Daddy Kraken again sometime. That was a fun game. I haven't run that in years,
move
actually.
On to the next question.
Yeah.
We talked about a little bit about what you guys are doing and how we met you is through the Cypher Unlimited community. And you guys are extremely active, and Joann's actually a mod, a golden one on the server.
Mm-hmm.
So could you guys talk about a little bit about the Cypher Unlimited community? And you mentioned, you kind of touched on what you call it, how it helped you start the blog post, but just talk about your experiences with the CU.
Okay. So you guys are family. We've only, in my time on the CU server, I've only encountered one problem, and it was promptly dealt with. But you guys are family. We talk to each other. We try to communicate. We help each other. Questions that are asked often get answered typically fairly quickly. Sure, we've got our problem children. But I think everybody's got problem children. They're not bad. They have different thought processes.
And that's the great thing,
we're the problem children.
I wasn't going to say that, but...
You don't have to agree, and that's the wonderful thing. We can all bring something to the table and have a discussion and still be friends at the end of the day and sit down and play Cypher or Numenera or whatever, right? And have a great time. Yeah. And that feel of the server is what drew us and kept us.
Yeah.
As long as it has.
How did you find us initially? I forget if we've actually that before.
I followed Josh.
I want to say somebody on Reddit posted a link to the server, and at the time I was fairly active on Reddit. This was really the first Discord server that I was involved with. Nice. And it's blown up since then. on I don't know how many. It's an addiction, you know.
You know what's
Start
funny,
with what?
Bash? I remember when you showed up because it was late. I was up. It was one of my late nights, and you showed up, and I remember because I was like, "Wow, that's a cool superhero name. What's up, Count Zero?" And you spoke back. And we've been talking ever since. And then, like, I think a day or so later, Joann showed up, and I didn't even know you guys were connected. But it was like, "Oh, Corsana. Now that sounds like a princess." You know, it was just like pretty cool. It's just, you know, then you find out they're connected. It was pretty cool. So you guys are awesome people.
I thought Dean was gonna be like, I remember when you showed up. It was a stormy February morning.
You know I can do it, right?
Actually,
know,
I think it was February.
I talked to your guys. I tell you, I've been busy for like the last 2 weeks. I've been working 12-hour shifts, so I don't get a chance to chat as much, but I do get to read the chat. And it's one of the things I find so interesting. Like, I'll read two people having a discussion and totally disagree on Monday, but on Wednesday, those same two people will be like, yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, like on a totally different topic, or defending and fighting, you know, their points with each other. And it's like what Josh said, you don't always have to agree, you know, but we share a common love for Cypher System.
Yeah.
So, you know, it allows us to disagree and still be family at the end of the day.
No toxicity. That's the beautiful thing. It's not a toxic place to be.
Not.
I really get upset because I'm at work and something will come up and I'm like, I want to respond and I can't work.
Generally how it goes with the busyness of life. But either way, I know we've already kind of touched on other role-playing games y'all play, but are there any others, like, you know, we talked about GURPS, Shadowrun. Are there any other role-playing games we haven't mentioned that y'all particularly enjoy, or maybe other board games you might play? What other kind of games do you enjoy?
Jeez.
We play Invisible Sun.
Mm-hmm.
We play board games. The Elder Sign.
Oh, that's such a
You
good
know what
game.
that is?
Yeah, that's a
I
Cthulhu.
love
Actually, I
that
have
game.
do I have my copy here?
Lords of Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep. Guillotine. I don't know if you've ever played that,
No.
but we enjoy that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Joann,
Ascension.
you lied.
Ascension.
Oh yeah, we have Ascension here too.
Joann, you lied.
What did I lie
yeah.
about?
You said you play Invisible Sun. You don't play Invisible Sun.
Fine, I GM Invisible Sun.
Not even just GM. What Joann does, Joann puts you in situations that you just want to beat your head on the floor afterwards. Go, why did I let her put me in that position? Why?
All I did was set the scene. Why are you blaming me for your character's choices?
Nice, Al.
I'm not the one who decided it would be brilliant to throw a still beating heart into a hearth fire of someone's home.
Oh,
I didn't either.
No, that was the other player.
well, now that we're mentioning
other guy.
what you call it, board games. If y'all enjoy cooperative board games, Spirit Island is super fun, very challenging. It's a co-op game, you versus the game. Definitely check that out. Super duper fun. And
Forbidden Desert.
Mm-hmm.
that was fun.
I've never
Pandemic.
Oh, that's a
Pandemic.
that's a
We put it
particularly
through
funny
our-
game to play nowadays. But also I did play test earlier with Jesus, a little board game he's coming up with. It was like a monster trainer type game. It was pretty fun. You know,
Sounds good.
hopefully he can get that going and more people can see it because it was actually super fun. Yeah. I think we can move along here. Dean?
Yeah, we're gonna bring it home. I'm gonna ask you, the last question before Anthony gets to have fun with you.
Thanks for the threat.
Look at him.
Glorious. So, what can we look forward to, seeing from Angel Citadel in the coming months and days and so on and so forth?
More blogs. We have a review that's coming out. Mecha versus Kaiju.
Friday. Yeah.
Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That we were politely asked to review, which was really sweet. And I really liked it. It was cool. And that's typically not my genre, because It's just not. Uh, but I really liked the game.
Mm-hmm.
So more reviews, more blogs.
Week after that, we've got We're All Mad Here coming.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We've got more original content coming.
Yep.
You know, that'll be free up on the blog periodically. Mostly it's small stuff. You know, like we've done maps and NPCs, and we'll probably do a monster or two here or there, or a drop-in encounter that you can do, something like that.
Any more videos?
We've got some more videos
We've
that
got
we're talking about.
a couple of videos planned. One video that we've got planned is going to be an unboxing of the Black Sun Cube.
Ooh.
Because nobody except Monty Cook has actually done one of those, and I wanted people to see it from the purchaser's perspective. I'm probably going to do another Roll20 one for GMs that goes into how to use the character, not just the character sheets, but how to use the tokens, how to use like the Fog of War, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We also got to get you guys into actual play.
There's that as well. And
I know we play together all the time, but actually on camera.
Yeah.
GM roulette.
and what I was gonna say
Christ.
about the Invisible Sun unboxing is, are you gonna? I don't want to spoil it for anyone who might purchase it, but there's a little couple of secrets depending on how you open it. Are you gonna be doing all that as well? I don't know if you know that.
No,
thing, like...
because well, I've done that on mine.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is not going to, because I've got someone that's going to be getting it as their birthday present.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense.
And after I open it and show people that, yes, this is all the stuff you actually get with this
We're going to
purchase,
pack it back up.
I'm going to pack it back up, seal it back up, and ship it to them.
Nice.
That's gonna be a game in and of
Don't drink
itself.
chocolate milk while you're doing it.
Eating Doritos while you're packing the
Yeah, no fooling.
Oh, Cheetos.
So that's the stuff that you're going to see on the blog, and there may be some other stuff coming out too.
Nice.
Let's see what Spigs wants to torture us with.
Wait a
first
minute. Before you go, you sure you don't want to mention that one kind of special thing, or?
Oh.
Okay.
It sounds like you have a
scoop.
So
the Farallon score was actually a teaser taste.
Oh.
The two of us and Dean. Yeah.
What about?
Dean,
Who's this guy?
Dean M. Lewis.
I
Your
don't know.
name's on the title page. You can't back out now. We're actually building a space setting for the Cypher system.
Yep.
Hey.
A full-fledged, with different races, with different planets. Josh is doing the cartography. I'm doing the layout, design, and editing. We plan to have the player's handbook, because we're going that route, going with a small one to see if people actually like it before we explode it. We plan on coming out with the player's handbook mid to late November.
Nice.
So
Good stuff.
Will it be on drive-through or
Yes.
Yeah.
program?
The player's handbook will let you do a tier 1 character in any of 5 different races. We've got some surprises for character creation, and the setting is going to be a completely original space setting, so not based strictly in Earth's solar system.
Ooh. Nice.
There's going to be a lot of alien culture. Once we're done with the player's handbook, or the player's guide, if there's enough interest, we've got enough material that we'll probably be able to expand to a full-fledged setting book to go with it.
Awesome.
JCS Graphics asks if you need any cool illustrations.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna need them.
We'll definitely link y'all up. Like I already said, he's already on the Cypher Unlimited Discord. He's Jason C. I think that's his full. He might have something in parentheses. I forget. But Jason C. on the Discord. You can definitely.
I've seen him around.
Yeah, you can definitely
Good
hit
to
him
see
up. Yeah. But real quick, we're gonna jump into the next phase of the thing here. While we're doing that, if anybody has any questions for these guys, for Joann and Josh, please feel free to post them up. We'll ask them at the end of what we're doing next, and I'll let Anthony take the reins on that.
I mean, if you guys seen any of our videos, here's our rapid fire questions. Here's where we dig deep into your soul. We pull out your essence. We stretch it on the table for the whole world to see. These are our rapid fire questions.
Ew.
They're 9 quick one-word answer questions. You could elaborate, any way you like on the question to extend it further. But are you guys ready? These are the serious, important questions.
All right.
Let's.
So to start things off, player or GM?
GM.
Pull punches or TPK?
Pull punches.
Pull punches.
Online or in-person gaming?
Yes.
If I get to pick in person.
There's the clatter of the dice hitting the table when you've got the in-person, but with the whole pandemic thing, being online is kind of nice and safe. My kids are quarantined home for the next 2 weeks because somebody brought in COVID.
No, that's so bad. Oh.
Which sucks because
You're sure happy to have them out the house. I know.
We were so close.
So close.
Listen, don't feel
Choked
bad.
to the finish line.
Don't feel bad. My grandchildren literally, they asked the kids what did they miss, or what was their biggest disappointment, and they literally told their teachers, the whole class, like, we want to come to school. We need to get out.
I am so tired of my parents.
But next one here, announce the difficulty number or keep it secret.
Depends on the situation. If it's something that I think should be a surprise, I keep it secret. Most of the time, as Alpha Dean knows, I like to tell you the difficulty number because I don't like doing the math.
Salty or sweet snacks at the table?
Yes.
Sweet.
I've got both.
RP or combat?
RP.
PDFs or physical books?
Yes.
Yes.
I like the physical books because there's nothing like cracking open the book, the new book smell, the new book feel. Mm-hmm. But the PDFs are so much easier to carry around. Especially, I can just, here's my tablet. Yeah, here we go.
Tablet, telephone, whatever.
Yep.
Good answer.
Pen and paper or digital notes?
We're supposed to take notes.
Pen and paper.
Good answer.
Okay, he takes notes.
You take mental notes. This is like the third option. Not physical. Not pen and paper. Not digital. It's all up here.
Steel trap.
Well, no. For like my Wednesday game, I create the handouts on Roll20 and I let them take the notes.
Makes sense.
Pre-written adventures or original content?
Original content. I'll steal from pre-written adventures though. Mm-hmm. I've got no problems doing that, but most of the stuff I do is original content because Josh isn't the only one that likes big decks.
I
will often start with pre-written content and it ends up being original.
That's the answer we hear a lot here.
That's basically how it goes.
Yeah, when I was younger, I didn't mind pre-written content, but when we started doing Keep of the Borderlands, I was like, oh man, I gotta follow this story. It was a great story.
But yeah, y'all survived the rapid fires. Let's go.
You know, the thing about, you mentioned Keep on the Borderlands. It's got great set pieces in it.
Yeah, it does.
If you ignore the connecting story, it works really good. You know, if you want to drop your Cypher players into a fantasy sandbox and use those pieces, great. But don't expect them to actually follow the story.
So, what you call it? Before we, wrap things up here, we didn't really get any questions from the audience. I do have one, miscellaneous question that, a viewer might have thrown out there. I feel like it's worth asking. Are there any, major pitfalls y'all came across while starting up your content creation that people, who are starting to do the same thing should try to actively avoid?
Are you talking the blog or the adventure that we made?
The blog, just in general, Angel Citadel. If they wanted to start putting out their own blog or whatever have you, what's a pitfall you may have run into that that people could avoid in the future?
Know your audience. One of the issues that we first started with was trying to send it too much to too many people at once. So you want to avoid that. You want teaspoons, not shovelfuls, when it comes to serving up content. The other thing is pay attention to your website. When we initially started it, we started it with ads, thinking maybe it'd generate enough revenue to pay for itself. And we ended up killing the ads completely because the ads that were being, despite the clarifications that I'd put in that it needed to be these kind of ads, it was just displaying random bullshit ads. Wait, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, well. It's fine. We swear and stuff. No, but those are definitely good nuggets. Definitely good advice when you're getting started. Keep things, more focused a little. That's actually particularly a very good piece of advice. The teaspoons to shovelfuls or whatever you just said. That's actually superb. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they first start, they're like, hey, I'm going to write up this 10-page essay and then, I'm going to show it to people. And then a lot of people don't want to sit there and read a 10-page essay from someone they barely know or whatever have you.
Pictures.
That's another good
Visual keys are everything. If you're just got this huge chunk of text, nobody gonna read it. I promise you, nobody gonna read it. To quote the meme, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But if you include breaking it up with visuals, they can read to that visual point and then come back to it when they have time. Or if you the Roll20 thing, I broke that up with pictures because while there's a lovely block of text, you won't always get what I'm trying to say without incorporating the picture to where you see what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
The other thing that I found was not just paying attention to your audience, but paying attention to what your audience is saying. So a lot of the stuff that we write about comes from conversations that we've seen on the CU or on Facebook or on Reddit or wherever we're at, right? Like Twitter. If you watch those conversations, you can often come up with ideas to talk about that are relevant to the people that are reading, especially if you're dialed into environments like the CU that are your target audience. You find things that they want to talk about, that they want to understand better, that they have differing opinions, and you talk about those things and it engages them more. It makes it so that they want to read what you have to say because it's relevant to what they're talking about and what's on their mind.
Awesome.
Great advice.
Most definitely.
So, everybody, if people wanted to find Josh and Joann aside from Angel'sCitadel, any Twitter links or Facebook or anything else?
At Joann Wallace and at Josh Wallace.
Yep.
Is where we're at on Twitter, and
Facebook.com/Angel'sCitadel.
Yeah.
On the CU, I'm Count Zero. She's Corsana.
And you guys can, we're gonna attach all of those at the end of this interview. On the.
I mean, it's attached now.
Yeah.
It's already attached. Oh yeah.
That's because
Live
Anthony's
on
all
Twitch.
over that.
Well, it was
Exactly.
like,
How?
And when we post it up to YouTube, it'll be there as well. So if you know anybody that might, benefit from this, people out there in the interwebs, let them know about, this particular interview. It'll be on our Cypher Unlimited page probably tomorrow or Friday at the latest.
nope, 100% tomorrow.
So tomorrow it will be. Anything you got to say there, Anthony? Want to tell these people out here in the world?
First off, our video's always up by 10 a.m. the following day, so it'll be up at 10 a.m. following day. The only thing I want to say is, Joann and Josh, we don't have to. You know how we feel about you. Angel'sCitadel is an awesome
Likewise.
site. It's an awesome site. Everybody should go. Our fans should be your fans. I had the pleasure to game with you. I had the pleasure to have late night conversations about gaming with you. You guys are a vast wealth of knowledge in gaming, and I think everyone should experience, what I experienced talking to you. So, I wholeheartedly encourage everyone to go visit the blog site, and hopefully when your book drops, everyone to pick that up. And of course, we'll be promoting the crap out of that when it does drop.
We appreciate
Yeah, and we will keep you in the loop. But yeah, we're looking at end of November.
Nice.
Al?
This has been a blast of a conversation. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Very much looking forward to that space setting. It sounds awesome. I do enjoy, the unique races or species or whatever have you. So I'm very looking forward to how you are changing up the character creation or whatever have you. You did say there will be a little tweak or whatever to it, and I love character generation. So very much looking forward to that. Oh, Dean, I see you making a hand movement.
I was just saying it's them. Don't listen to anything about this.
Yeah, your name is right there underneath ours.
Okay.
On the front cover.
On the front cover.
And Anthony,
I sent you a picture. You can't say you don't know.
So Anthony, you want to do your little?
Yeah, we love having guests on, like Josh and Joanna. And if you like us, you like the show we produce, you like what we do, you can support us in many ways. One, but just support us on YouTube or Twitch. Drop on, and yes, we also have a merchandise store. You can visit our merchandise store, pick up all these cool Cypher Unlimited gear that everybody's wearing.
You betcha.
Yeah. or you could drop us a little Ko-fi donation. Like we said, all our content will always be free, will forever be free, but that little bit helps us with small stuff like Zoom costs. So, anything, if you can't do it, that's fine too. We still love you, but if you can, we love you too. So please, like, share, and subscribe our videos, and hit that little notification bell on YouTube, because it affects the algorithms and it brings our videos to a wider audience. And like always, we love you guys.
Love you too, Anthony.
Thanks for having us.
And Dean, any last final thingies?
You know what? These, like I said, more little brothers and sisters. My family has grown. Because I was always the youngest. I never had anybody younger than me, so it's like so awesome now to be old. So love you guys. Al, Anthony, you know how I feel about you two maniacs. So
So yeah,
what it do.
This has definitely been a blast. Thank you guys again so much for coming on. And for our viewers out there, just a quick little snippet or just another little small announcement. Be on the lookout for more Twitch streams from us. We will definitely gonna try to pump out more Twitch shows. Really don't know what we're gonna be doing yet, but we will be doing them more often. So keep an eye out. If you have any suggestions for what you would like to see on a Twitch show, be sure to send us a message on Discord or email us. We'll have our email down below in the YouTube video. And any way you want to reach out to us, by all means reach out to us. Let us know what you would like to see in a Twitch stream, because again, I do have a couple of ideas, but it'd be awesome to put out there what you would like to see.
Also, if you're I know we put this out on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere else. But if you a content creator working in Cypher Creator Program or podcast or Twitch streamer, and you want to talk to us about Cypher system or gaming in general, we love to BS about gaming. We love to talk. Contact us. You can either hit me directly or hit Dean or Al, and we'll arrange for some either we get you on for an interview or we'll work something out. But we definitely love to promote and highlight everyone doing wonderful things in the Cypher community.
And if you're looking for someone to review your stuff and give you some feedback and get what you're about out there, we'd love to help too.
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, again, with that little bit of extra information, thank you all so much one more time. And again, from us at the CU, we will see you later.
Bye.